Yes, so he's back in the game. At one point up Turd Creek without a paddle and looking like an early retirement maybe on the cards. He then went on to have a monumental revival, a comeback that's put himself firmly among the top 4, and now he's back in prime position. But yes, how did he get here? What does the future hold? Could he be a world champion once more? And what is the story of Joseph Parker's rejuvenation? Strap in. Yes, he's Mr. Nice Guy. The Kiwi bomber and former world champion Joseph Parker comes off 2 sensational wins against 2 of the most feared punchers in the heavyweight division, Deontay Wilder and Silip Bang. Now okay, not the best versions of these massive punchers turned up on the night, because somehow Wilder's turned into a lovey-dovey hippie all of a sudden. Yeah, no, I've been trying these psychedelic drugs, innit? I'm all feng shui now, bruv, bum squad, innit? Till this day, bosh. And old Silip Bang was lethal for about 12 seconds, and then he thought, fuck it, that'll do. Oh dear, I've lost. But still, Parker's game plan with both men was pulled off perfectly. Now you'd have to say in terms of best wins of late, Parker takes the cake over everyone, including Fury, Usyk and Anthony Joshua. But yes, let's rewind a few years back, shall we, to when things weren't going so rosy. It was the 23rd of September 2017, and having picked up the WBO belt in a sterling win against Andy Ruiz, Parker found himself defending it not too long after against the undefeated Hughie Fury in an absolute edge-of-your-seat thriller. Yeah, no, sorry, it was an absolute shitter, and although Joseph done enough to keep his title, the bout done nothing at all for his profile. Now some even thought it was very controversial, that fight. Apparently Joe's trainer Kevin Barry said that it was a robbery, and old Mickey Boy certainly wasn't happy.
I'm not being funny, what the fuck is going on?
Yes, an absolutely timeless quote from the legend there.
It was like shades of Ali, the way he was moving.
Yes, good old Mickey Boy standing up for Hughie Fury. I don't know if he was shades of Ali that night, more like shades of Dave fucking Allen, more fucking like. Anyway, no offence Dave, but anyway, Parker rolled on and found himself up against the high-flying Anthony Joshua in front of 80,000 in Cardiff. And although being the first to take AJ the distance, AJ's work rate ripped the world title away from the Kiwi, and it was back to the drawing board. Many felt he just lacked the killer instinct that night, switching off when it wasn't going his way, and it happened to be a similar story in his next fight against Dillian White. Once again a strong speedy start, but soon looking like he'd given up after not being able to put a dent in the body snatcher. But let's not forget Parker's a tough dude, and in them final seconds he nearly pulled it out the bag.
Scenes here, guys. Big right hand. He's gone. He's out.
So then, with 2 losses in a row, it was a step in the wrong direction for old Parker. He returned looking good against Flores and Lapai, then produced a sensational knockout against Shaundell Winters, but after that it was the fight with Junior Farr that once again was a bit fucking pony. I got up at 4 AM to watch that, it was fucking blinding, and after a 12-round hugfest, he scraped the win. However, it was clear things needed a shake-up if he was to get back in the mix. So from here he felt the need to part with long-term trainer Kevin Barry, setting up camp with the well-schooled Andy Lee for his next fight against the experienced but a little bit fucking mental Del Boy Chisora. We said, aye, okay, Andy Lee knows his stuff, he's working with Fury, Parker's in a decent camp there, sounds like a good move. But 7 seconds into the fight, we said, alright, apparently fucking not.
Tackle shot, Derek Chisora down in the opening 10 seconds.
However, things improved and he did show a bit more grit this time, something that Andy Lee more than likely demanded of him. It was a tight one but a win nonetheless, and the rematch proved to be much more conclusive. So having returned from the 2 losses with a 6-win streak, it was time to take on another solid top 10 contender in the shape of Joseph Joyce, the juggernaut, and for the first time we saw a bit of needle in a Parker presser.
Got it
Calm
right.
down,
Simple.
Little Joe.
Yeah,
Huh?
absolutely.
Little Joe.
Calm down.
Huh?
Relax.
You relax.
Yo.
What's that Little Joe tickle? Are you suggesting his power
Little
is
Joe tickle.
ticklish?
Little Joe's gonna tickle me
Yeah, I will.
on September 24th.
Slap you and punch you and everything else.
Oh, right. Ooh, you're hard.
Okay, not the most brutal exchange, but still, it was a relatively even matchup on paper, and with Parker's best attribute being his speed, and this being Joyce's weakest attribute, many felt Parker would have a lot of success in this fight. But there was a big change. Coming in at a career heaviest 255 pounds in the weigh-in, nearly a full stone heavier than when he fought Anthony Joshua. Now maybe this weight had nothing to do with the outcome on the night, because Joyce was absolutely relentless, putting in a career best performance. However, in hindsight, after seeing Parker's sharpness in the Wilder fight where he was 10 pounds lighter, maybe a lower weight would have been a benefit. Still, take nothing away from Joyce, he was mustard that night, and Parker suffered his first knockout. Another unfortunate backwards step. Now this was probably the lowest point in the career of Joseph Parker to date, looking like a long way off the big boys, the Fury, Usyk, Joshua Wilder and now Joyce. It was hard to see how he could get himself back in the mix. However, we couldn't overlook the fact that he was only 30 years old and maybe the prime years were still ahead of him. So after the Joyce loss we did question where he goes from now, but he reappeared at the very start of 2023 in an unusual fight against former cruiserweight Jack Massey. It was another so-so performance to produce a decision win, but the same views were shared by many that Parker's best days were now behind him. Little did we know, however, this was merely a stepping stone in the Parker resurgence. So he wasted no time and was back in the ring 4 months later against Vega Lulu Opalulu, yeah, something like that, innit? Knocking him out in one round for a massive confidence booster. And then it was off to Saudi for the big one, baby, the Battle of the Baldest. Battle of the Baddest, against another lower level contender in Simon Keane, but Parker looked as sharp as ever, faster and more destructive from the opening bell and going on to dispose of the Canadian in 3 rounds. And then came the unexpected, a huge fight on the day of reckoning against Deontay Wilder in what was supposed to simply be a warm-up for Deontay before the signed Joshua fight in March 2024. But yes, that was not to be. So as we've mentioned before, we can't beat about the hairy bush. Wilder was a different energy that night to what we've seen of him in the past, but still, this lighter Parker was more methodical and much more switched on than we've ever seen him before. And for one good reason, he fucking needed to be. You don't want to end up like this poor fucker, do you? Anyway, yes, so clearly in the end, the rebuilding year for Joseph and Andy Lee had been a massive success. I've personally always been a big fan of Parker. I think he's always had the makeup of a great heavyweight, good power, fast hands, and he's got a blinding chin. He's always had the attributes, but he's just never connected it with the grit and determination, the will and desire to win against the top boys, which ultimately all comes down to the mindset. But it seems like Andy Lee may have put an end to all that, not only improving his ability but making him stronger mentally. And after being written off once more against the heavy hitting Sillet Bang, it took this new stronger mindset of Parker to battle through 2 knockdowns and yet again upset the odds. And now, here we are. So then in a way, Joshua and Parker have mirrored each other on the exact same rebuilding path. Both men losing at the back end of 2022, both men looking average in their return, but progressively looking better and better. But you gotta say fair diddly to Parker, the calibre of opponent he's beaten in the last 2 fights outweighs Joshua's significantly. However, what now then? Fury Usyk are all tied up, but he'd probably never fight Fury regardless. Zhang and Wilder he's already completed, Dubois and Hrgovic sounds like a sure thing, and Joshua is in a bit of a stalemate. Would old AJ take on a risky fight with Parker when the winner of Fury Usyk may be on the horizon? I don't know. Personally, I doubt it, because if Usyk and Fury have another fight, surely you'd wait for the IBF belt to become available, which is reported to be stripped from the winner, and that would be against the winner of Hrgovic versus Dubois. Maybe in the end old Parker is just limited to his 2 former rivals, the Body Snatcher and the Juggernaut. So as we know, Dillian has returned and Parker's call out was a thing of beauty. Probably the only time I've been able to listen to that smug fucker Gary Barlow for more than 3 seconds. Bloody hell, I'd rather eat a fucking brick. But yes, I wouldn't mind to see that one again, as Dillian always brings the heat. However, this time, as long as he comes in sharp like he did for the Wilder fight, I'd personally have Parker all the way. And the Juggernaut, well, I'd be up for it again, but seeing Joyce against the Vampire, looking even slower than usual and much heavier than he's ever been, even though he won the first fight, I struggle to see how it would be good for him to go up against this much more sharper and much more in prime Parker. Maybe another fight where he gets in serious shape would tell us what's left in old Joe Joyce. We shall see. But overall, the future is bright for the Kiwi and the rejuvenation has been a thing of beauty. It's fair to say at a mere 32 years old, there's even time to pick up another world title before the curtains close. And let's be honest, if he did pick up another belt, it couldn't happen to a better bloke, could it? He's a fucking diamond. What an absolute legend. So let me know who you think he should fight next and what does the future hold. See you soon, Toodle Pip, for now.